Hello everyone and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's story time is a bit more serious. It's about a traumatic experience that I had as a child. If you're of a sensitive disposition, please don't watch this video as it might be a trigger, otherwise please stay tuned. This happened quite a while back and it happened in the summertime, so our summer holidays back home were around 3 months. So from the month of June till September we used to have our summer holidays, and that was mainly because it was really hot, so it got up to like 38-40 degrees in the summer. We just wouldn't want to put kids through such high temperatures. It wasn't like we did less school, it was just that we had less half-term holidays. So most of my summer holidays were spent in the UK, but the first month or so was spent back home with my friends, and I remember finding it so hard the first week or two of coming to the UK because I used to miss my friends so much, and we used to also send each other letters, which I still have till this day, and I have said one day I will go through all the letters and just read them. So my friends and I used to pretty much live nearby, either in the same apartment complex or in the neighborhood, so we pretty much spent all of our days together, all of the holidays, the school holidays that we had. One of the things that we used to always do is, because it got so hot in the summer, we used to go by the outside pool and spend our day there, or by the river. So the city has a river that runs through, so we used to do that a lot. So anything to do with sunbathing and swimming was definitely our thing. Other things that we used to do were playing different games. So I'm a 90s kid, and there were so many games that even till this day I've got such fond memories of. So some of them were Catch, You're It, Hopscotch, and another one of the games that we used to play was playing with water pistols. Not all of us had water pistols, so some of us, what we used to do is take a big plastic bottle, make a hole in the lid, and then fill it with water, and away we went. I remember that we used to have so much fun playing this game, but we always used to end up full of scratches, and we used to fall, and my knees and my elbows were always covered in either blood or it was either scratched. My mom used to always tell me off because I was such a tomboy as a kid, so all I wanted to do is run around. I had so much energy, didn't want to go indoors. I was one of those kids that was always very hyper. So I used to drive my mom insane. The most fun and our favorite game that we were playing was the games that we played with our Barbie dolls. So we had an obsession with our Barbie dolls. I don't know if it's a 90s thing or not. Even till this day, if I go into a shop, or if I go to my niece's house or anything like that, if I see Barbie dolls, it does bring so many lovely memories. Barbie dolls pretty much sums up my childhood. We had so much imagination, and we made up all these stories, like soap opera like stories, and we had our houses that we were building for it. We completely forget what the time was, we just didn't care. We were so involved in that story, and it used to go for hours and hours and hours. Our parents always used to tell us off. So this takes me into my story time today. To set the scene a little bit, there were 4 of us outside playing, 3 of my friends, myself, and also one of the neighbor's children. So I think she was about 4 or 5 years old, or maybe 6, and we're about 11 or 12. So we're all basically playing outside in front of my apartment complex. So there were 2 benches outside, so there was one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. And I remember this, we had our kitchen window opened quite widely as it was so hot, and normally my mom would spend pretty much most of her time in the kitchen, either reading a newspaper, cooking, whatever. And on that occasion she wasn't there whilst we were outside playing. I think she was either in the bedroom or somewhere else, but this will make sense more later on in the story. We've set all of our toys on one side of the bench, so me and one of my friends had our dolls and everything set up on one side, and the other 2 girls had their toys and their dolls set up on the other side of the bench. And typical me, I wanted to get involved in both games and in both stories, so I would move from one side of the bench to the other. Our neighborhood was very safe. This was in middle of the day. I think it was probably like around 12 o'clock, and it was a bright shiny day. A lot of people were walking up and down around the area, and we always felt safe, and there's never ever been any issues at that point. We were always allowed to play outside till quite late in the day. If anything, as teenagers, we spent so much of our time, for some reason, in front of our apartment complex, to the point that our neighbors always used to tell us off, because sometimes in the summer we used to stay outside till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and if it wasn't our parents, the neighbors or anyone else would say that we're just being too loud and we should go home. So we were playing for, I would say, maybe an hour and a half, and as I was moving from one side to another every now and again, I remember in the corner of my eye seeing someone looking at us, staring at us on the staircase. And at that point I didn't take any notice, I sort of just carried on. So as I moved on to the other side, I took a better look at this person, and I remember everything, the way he looked, the hair color. So I remember he had brown hair, blue eyes, and a slight defect in one of his eyes. He was wearing this off-white t-shirt, a pair of white shorts, and I think trainers. So it stuck with me even till this day. So as I looked at him the second time, I know and I could see that he was staring at us, and he was rocking up and down the stairs, and I sort of froze for a second, then realized that he wasn't just staring at us, he actually had his hand down his trousers. Now that is very disgusting. It just the thought of it just puts me into a really weird space. So I looked at him, and with that state of shock, I don't know how, but I've actually managed to start screaming as loud as I could. And I said to my friends, "Run! There's a man with his wheelie out, run!" And my friends just honestly just ran as fast as they could. I grabbed the neighbors, the little girl that was with us, and I grabbed her hand and we just went. But for some reason, one of my friends sort of almost like tried to go back to grab one of her Barbie dolls, and I was just like, just run, you know. So as we ran the left hand side, I turned around very, very quickly to see where he is and if he's running after us. But what I think has happened was that because it was in the middle of the day and there were other people sort of around the area, I think he got really scared and he actually ran the opposite way, and he didn't come after us. Thank God for that. So what we did is we ran towards another blocks of flats, and one of our friends that was slightly older, he was a boy, he stopped us and said, "What's happened? What's happened?" We were like crying and in such a panic state. And I said to him, "Please, please, please go back. Can you go back to where the two benches are, and asked for my mom to come out?" And he, bless him, he must have been around, I'd say probably around 15. So he went back and he asked for my mom to come out, and my mom told all of our parents what has happened, and they were absolutely mortified, and they were so, you know, annoyed, you know, for everything that has happened. This was very unheard of. None of us have experienced anything like that, especially where we lived. It was known to be a safe place. You know, there were so many kids playing out all the time, all throughout the summer holidays, so there was never a point where we had men looking at us and staring at us, and just, you know, it was quite scary. So what our parents did is they called the police, and then the police updated us at some point, and what has happened is the man was known to have some sort of mental health issues. So he was in hospital, in a psychiatric hospital for a while, and somehow he managed to get out. So this was the talk of the day for many, many days, as you can imagine, and to the point where I actually was very anxious to go into the blocks of flats. You know, many times if I had to enter the blocks of flats, I would feel very anxious, I'd feel very scared. I always had a look before I went in, just in case. What if he's there? What if he's hiding? What if he came back? You know, I didn't know that. You know, how would I have known that he knew that I lived there or not? So all of these feelings of anxiety and all of these things would run through my head for quite a long time after that. But the police updated us that he's back, back in hospital, and he, we shouldn't worry, kind of thing. But I know that some of the boys at some point told us that he came back, and I don't know if that was just to scare us or just to, you know what kids are like, they just want to be part of the story. And there was never any evidence. I think that was just, it was just a lie, really. But yeah, no, it did affect me in some ways for quite a few months, because I was always scared. And I used to get my friends to sometimes walk in with me, just back home, just so I can feel safe. So yeah, that's what happened to me. So that's it from me today. If you're new here to my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Like, share and comment, and I'll put a video up every Monday, so please look out for that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.